So Ava Johnson, she kind of jumped into the news. I don't even think what she said was that bad, if I'm being honest. But she said some things about Charlie Kirk. And if you've been living under a rock, Charlie Kirk, he's a guy who does like these debate things on campuses. And he was doing such on a campus, and someone decided that they wanted to assassinate him. So they did that, and it went very viral. It's kind of really created a divide between the right and the left. People on the right are mourning, people on the left are celebrating, people on the left are getting canceled for celebrating, which leads us to Ava Johnson because she weighed in on the whole Charlie Kirk situation. She took to her Instagram. So the exact words that she posted was, if you want people to have kind words when you pass, you should say kind things when you're alive. And again, this was posted right after the Charlie Kirk assassination. And yeah, I mean, she didn't mention any names, but this was right after the assassination. And you can tell that this was directed at Charlie Kirk. Now, obviously, as I mentioned kind of briefly, this came with a bunch of backlash because right now we're in a situation where if you talk bad about Charlie Kirk, you get canceled. Let's call it what it is. It is canceled. So she said what she said, and there was a lot of calls for her job, her to get
I don't
fired.
think it's talking bad about Charlie Kirk. I think it's the celebration of his death and then the blatant mischaracterization of his death that's getting people canceled.
Well, she didn't celebrate it. Again, I don't even think what she said was that bad. Say kind words when you're alive, and people say kind words when you die. Is that bad?
Well, she's implying that he didn't say kind words when he was alive.
Was he not the guy that was debating people on campus?
Yeah, he was debating people on campus. Does that make him a bad guy?
I want to say it makes him a bad guy, but I mean, you can see what she's saying here.
Can you?
I don't know if you spend your life debating people, you're obviously going to have people, maybe the people that you've debated that don't celebrate your, or not celebrate, but aren't going to be heartbroken that you pass away.
So people you've had a discussion with and you may have disagreed with get to celebrate your death?
Celebrate's a little
They're,
tough. I'm just saying maybe they don't.
like
They're not going to be.
what universe would you have a civil discussion and then they die and then you're like, oh, I don't care. He deserved it. He shouldn't have had civil discussions where he disagreed with people.
I'm not justifying this at all, but I've seen clips of him like debating people, and he does like really go against their beliefs.
That's what a debate is. You have one set of ideas and you challenge the other set of ideas.
Yeah. So I'm saying when you do that, you can't be surprised that people are not upset. Again, I'm not saying celebrating. I'm just saying not upset that you're passed away.
I think you can. I don't know. Getting shot in the neck is kind of extreme to be not upset or just have no feelings for it or even celebrate.
You keep throwing the word celebrate. Celebrate's a little tough. Be indifferent. How about that? But yeah, celebrating is a little much.
The clips that I've seen of Charlie, he seemed pretty respectful. There's one where he's debating one guy and the guy's stumbling over himself and the crowd starts laughing at him and Charlie kind of stops and he's like, no, this is really hard.
So he got the guy out there and embarrassed him. And that
what the fuck are you talking about? The guy came out and embarrassed himself.
And you're going to want that guy to be sad? Like, this motherfucker embarrassed me.
So now you're going to join in on the people just mischaracterizing what he does?
No. I'm just going
he sets up he sets up a public forum. The dude came out, he wanted to say some shit. He stumbled because, to be fair, it's hard talking in front of a bunch of people. It's hard articulating your ideas and shit for some people. No, all the clips I've seen seem to be really, really Christian.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard any like hateful shit that he's said. He's challenged like the whole systemic racism bullshit. As far as hateful shit, no. If it happens to be a position that they don't agree with, that's hate. That's racism. Because then you automatically shut it down. And then you have stupid people like Ava regurgitating that shit.
I guess we can be different. I don't think it was such a bad thing that she said. She didn't say, I'm glad he got shot in the neck. She didn't say, I'm glad he's dead. She just said, if you would have said nice things when you were alive, maybe now that you're dead, people would have said nice things. That's all she said. I don't know. Doesn't seem like too harsh of a thing to say. But again, she did get backlash for this. So
I
much so
mean,
that she had to double down. She took to X. Someone had quote tweeted her Instagram, and then she said, and I'll stand behind this. Be kind now more than ever. So we ended up getting a follow up to this because, again, it was getting hot in the kitchen. I'm sure she was getting death threats and all the likes, of course. By the way, she was getting death threats on this situation. And what's the situation we're talking about here? It's okay though because
well,
she
she
had a
doesn't need death threats. She needs to be mocked for being wrong, but she doesn't need death threats, and she doesn't need to be canceled.
yeah, in a situation where we're talking about someone actually dying from this whole scenario, and now you're
Right.
giving death threats. But we had a follow up to this because I guess it was getting so hot in the kitchen. The news sites had to give a some kind of update on this. So we have Cultaholic. So they're quoting the Wrestling Observer News, which is Dave Meltzer's group. So take it for what it's worth. But said one person within WWE reportedly claimed that if anybody other than Ava, the Rock's daughter, had posted comments about Charlie Kirk, they'd have been told to take it down, but nobody will tell her. And they're suggesting this because she is the Rock's daughter. She can just go spout out whatever she wants to, and she won't get punished. People on the left, but again, I don't think she said anything that was too crazy. Like, there's people who are actually celebrating the death. There's people who are actually like laughing and saying he deserved it because he had a different opinion than what I had. And at the end of the day, he was a father. He was someone's son. He was someone's husband. He had two kids. So him losing his life is definitely something that you don't want to celebrate. And you're supposed to be the good side on the right. You're supposed to be the all inclusive side.
Actually, the left is the inclusive.
Sorry, I mixed up my sides. Yes, the left side is supposed to be the inclusive side.
They're both kind of crazy right now.
Yes, definitely a whirlwind of craziness. Speaking of the Charlie Kirk thing, Bethesda, the video game company, they said something and they got shit for it on the right and on the left. They got it from both ends. I think it's because they said something and then they apologized for it or something like that.
Oh,
So they just pissed off everybody. And that's where we are right now. Like, you got to really move carefully with what you say because you're going to piss off one side or the other.
well, I just think the right side's tired of being bitch slapped.
They are. It does seem a little hypocritical of the right, though. And I'm just talking about, like, as far as the canceling.
Mm-hmm.
Because the left, that was their thing. That was their weapon, is to get someone canceled. And now it seems like the right is trying to use that.
Yeah, you make up the rules as you go along. You can't be mad when somebody else uses those rules.
Yeah, so now I can't help but to think that maybe the whole time the right wasn't really mad about the cancel culture. They were just mad that they couldn't use it. Like,
I do think
mad
it's.
that it was working for that side.
I think stuff like this is cunty. Do I agree with what she said? No, but I'm not going to feel some type of way about it where I want to see her lose her job or whatever.
Yeah, like you want to get her fired for saying something like as passive as it could be. Like I said before, she didn't like go in on him. It's not like Bret Hart going in on Triple H. Like if she would have said something like foul, no.
Charlie Kirk never had a good match.
Yeah, he never had a good debate.
If he was in the locker room when I punched out Vince.
Yeah, she would have done something like that. Now I can see, but I don't know. As far as scathing, this was probably like a 1 of 10, but people were blowing it out of proportion and wanting her canceled for a 1.
Enjoy. Drink it in. That's what you fucking caused.
Yeah.